Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Man, pool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We haven't done one of these in a while. We're doing a founder interview. We're doing an amazing interview with Hermetica, right? So we do know we got Bank, and they're a stable coin, and Hermetica just arrived on the scene. And one thing me and Yagobi always preached way back when is we need a stable coin, and now technically we have two. So we talked to Jack Liu with Bank. I think it's only fair to have the interview with Jacob from Hermetica. This one's going to be fun. We're looking forward to this one for a long time. So without further ado, I'm bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What's up, man? So we were just both looking at Hermetica, very bullish on stablecoins. What's your opinion on this, and how important is stablecoins in the Bitcoin ordinal ecosystem?
Yeah, stablecoins are always important if you're going to scale an on-chain economy, because they allow you to do more things with your assets, right? They let you be more flexible. You might want to just stay in the stable while the asset recovers or something like that, right? The market recovers. But it's definitely an integral part of infrastructure for a DeFi-like environment, which seems to be what people are shooting for on Bitcoin. So super exciting to see now the second stable token be launched on Bitcoin, and both of them are Runes, right? Well, you know, the governance token for NUSD is on Runes, and I believe the stable is also on Runes as well. I think it's on the BRC20 standard too. But with Hermetica, I believe it is on Runes, and it's interesting. I really like Hermetica's approach. You know me, being a digital marketing guy from my past life, I really like symmetry. I really like the aesthetics, but you know, there has to be substance behind that, right? Because a lot of people can start, you know, whip up a nice website and stuff like that, and that's what we're going to get into today.
Yeah, and the website is beautiful. I think we both like that, especially the you know, it says 16% yield on it. So we're gonna get into all that and everything, how that
That part's
works.
beautiful.
So, I know, right? Yeah, the yield on stablecoins, like is this Ethereum or is this Bitcoin?
Yeah.
So I definitely got excited when we seen that. But without further ado, let's bring in Jacob from Hermetica. Jacob, welcome to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey, what's up, guys? Nice to be here.
Thanks
for
so much for joining us. All right, we'll kind of get right into it then. You know, obviously we can't wait to dig into Hermetica and the stablecoin, and it's earned up to 25% yield. I'm excited to talk about that, but we need to know the person behind the project, right? I think that is important. On the show, we preach amazing projects, but without good people in the space, we have what we had before, and we don't want that. We want to have good people, good space, good projects. So if you wouldn't mind telling us about yourself, that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jacob, founder and CEO of Hermetica. My background is as a software engineer, as an entrepreneur. Always been in love with technology really since the very early days. Always been tinkering and building businesses around technology. That's going back even into my teens. And yeah, I have a software engineering degree and come from that world. And when I found Bitcoin in 2017, built a business in the developing world before that, and that was completely offline. We're producing and selling eyeglasses in Africa, out of all places, and came to Bitcoin in roundabout ways, fell in love with the technology, fell in love with the ideals and ideas behind it, and really saw it as a technology that we can use to bring freedom and prosperity to the human race and really build a financial system that supports those ideals and brings us forward and out of the control systems and control structures that we have in place today. So have been devoted to Bitcoin for the last 6, 7, 8 years. That took many different forms. I built a Bitcoin mining business in the early days because I was really fascinated how that works. Was deeply involved in the futures markets in 2018, 2019 when they came online, and then ended up at Kraken, the digital asset exchange. Worked there for a while. That got me exposed to the broader crypto ecosystem, DeFi on Solana, on Ethereum, where I was an analyst doing deals from Kraken's balance sheet. So we looked at NFTs when they were blowing up. We were looking at Ethereum DeFi, Solana DeFi, etc. And that really inspired me and exposed me to a lot of technologies that I think we're now bringing to Bitcoin. And that's kind of like my viewpoint of it, is that we're learning from a lot of different other ecosystems, from a lot of technologies, and are now slowly but surely bringing those best ideas to Bitcoin. And so in 2020, I left Kraken and started Hermetica. And our mission is really to bring Bitcoin DeFi, make Bitcoin DeFi a reality. And that can take many different forms. The form that we've chosen now is a stablecoin. We can obviously talk more about how that exactly works, why it's important, and where the yield comes from, etc.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you for that brief background there. So yeah, let me ask the question straight out. Why stable? Why a stable token? Why go into that? Obviously, it's needed. It's a big part of infrastructure, but it can be a large undertaking. Obviously, if successful, could be really huge. But why did you guys decide to start here?
Yeah, I think that we need the core primitives on Bitcoin in order to build a Bitcoin DeFi economy. And one key element of that is obviously a stable coin. The dollar is still the unit of account of the global economy, right? We're all, as Bitcoiners, want that to be Bitcoin, but we're not there yet. And it's probably going to take decades to achieve that. And so in order to facilitate liquidity to flow into the system and to facilitate the transactions that we need in DeFi, lending, borrowing, swapping, trading, we need a dollar represented on chain. And so we see that as a major gap in the market right now. And we are bringing a solution. There's certainly many different ways to do this, but we're bringing a solution that we think is very attractive and very scalable and very well suited for the crypto ecosystem, for the Bitcoin ecosystem, to the market. That's why we're doing it.
Awesome. Let's talk about the team a little bit. How did you guys get started? How did you guys become Hermetica?
Yeah, so we are a team of 5. I myself am an engineer, so I actually act as the CEO and CTO and write a lot of code. We have 2 other engineers on the team, front end dev, back end dev, and then operations lead and a marketing BD lead. And so we have, I think, a nice full spectrum team. One other person is ex-Kraken, a lot of crypto native talent, and yeah, lean and mean. I think you can achieve a lot with very few people in this ecosystem, because if you just work really hard and have the passion to build something meaningful for Bitcoin, I think that's what driving us all and the team. Yeah, that's a little bit about the team.
Yeah, man, and we all have this personal assistant these days called AI, right? So I'm sure all the smart people that use that for sure. So
I love the fact that you're the CTO as well, because let's not trying to take any jabs at like the devs or anything, but they don't necessarily, like most don't have that social ability to really speak to audiences and stuff like that. And it seems like you have that as well. So definitely just made me a bit more bullish. I love when CTOs kind of take that role as CEO as well. Speaking of you being the CTO and knowing Bitcoin's limitations, you still took this jump to do the stable token. So that tells me that you have the utmost confidence that there will be a robust on-chain economy here that will continue to scale and grow. Is that the case? And if so, could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, listen, I mean, from a technical perspective, it's obviously quite challenging to build on Bitcoin. Documentation is not really existent. It's pretty clunky, etc. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin, and I'm a big believer in a economy on Bitcoin L1. I think, though, that is only one piece of the puzzle. I think at the end of the day, it's pretty clear that Bitcoin L1 can't scale and won't scale, and will not scale. And therefore, we need other technology stacks to live on top of Bitcoin L1 to represent a UI, UX that can really attract the mass market. I mentioned briefly that I worked in Africa. I worked in the developing world. If you ask one of those guys, one of my team members there, to like make an on-chain transaction and pay $2, they would just say, "Are you crazy?" It's like, I pay my rent for a week with that, right? So that's just not going to happen. We think that there is an opportunity for us to build that economy. I think we're still super early, right? Like the liquidity on Runes today is very low. It's almost non-existent, and so that is obviously also the opportunity to build that up from the ground, and we're devoted or dedicated to that. But we see Bitcoin as not just L1 because there's different use cases apart from what can happen on L1, but it's certainly extremely important.
Yeah. You said something just now that Bitcoin can't scale and won't scale. And you're obviously speaking about its current state of where it is. So let's say that there's this big conversation with Opcat possibly being added to Core. First of all, do you think that that's going to happen? And if it does that change your perception on can't scale and won't scale?
Yeah, so when I say won't scale, I mean on L1, meaning that we won't get bigger blocks and faster transactions, and therefore we'll always be limited to a 10-minute block time and pretty high transaction fees. I think that has to stay in place for the robustness of the L1. Exactly. And so that's why I mean by won't scale. It can scale and will scale in layers, absolutely. And how that exactly will look, will it be Opcat, will it be BitVM, will it be a different technology? I don't know. What I know is that now there's a plethora of very talented people thinking about this problem and experimenting. And so we will end up with a solution or multiple solutions that are viable. Opcat, I'm not very confident that we'll get it in a timeline that is suitable for moving fast and building things within the next months and years. Will it happen? I don't know. I think I'm generally bearish on any major changes to Bitcoin, to be honest. And so we build with the assumption that it will not happen. Obviously, if it happens, fantastic. I'm for it. I think it will allow us to do roll-ups and CK verification, which obviously is extremely good to scale in with those layers. But I think there's other solutions that we can do today that are maybe less trustless and more pragmatic, but already are building out some of the infrastructure that we need.
Absolutely love that. Because I mean, you just get ready. You get ready for what you have now with the limitations, and try to think outside of what you can do. So really appreciate that answer. I think from someone that talks to a lot of people like Shizzy and I do, different developers and stuff, and that was probably the best answer that I've gotten so far. So
yeah, it's similar with kind of what Jeff gave us earlier today when he said something. They just got to be ready for BitVM just in case. So it's it's just good to see that people are just getting ready just in case. But if it doesn't happen, they're gonna keep moving. The train keeps going on, right? There's no stopping it for sure. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
But
let's go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's talk a little bit about this beautiful number that's on your homepage that says earn up to 25% yield on your dollars. Could you explain how you're able to produce this type of yield for users when they stake the USDH on your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So the protocol, how it functions is that we essentially couple a spot Bitcoin position with a short perpetual futures position that locks in the dollar value of Bitcoin. We represent that on chain. Today we're live on Rune, so you can actually get a Rune token that represents essentially that Bitcoin that is hedged with the perpetual futures position. There is a very nice side effect of this kind of design, and that is, since the perpetual futures markets, there is a lot of demand for long leverage, right? Bitcoiners want to be long the asset. And so the folks that are going long the futures markets are willing to pay for that privilege. And since we are short the futures market, we're providing liquidity to those people, and we're harvesting those interest rates that they're willing to pay for being long. And those can go up to 25% a year. And we pass that yield on to folks that stake their stablecoin. So you can come to our platform. You can if you click on Access App, you can come to the website. Exactly. If you have USDH in your wallet, if you connect your XVerse, and you can come here and stake it. And then you get a liquid staking token, SUSDH, which represents your deposit and essentially accrues the value from the funding rates every day. You see the rate down there. One SUSDH is worth 1.0 0.109 USDH. So every day that ratio goes up, depending on what the funding rates are that day. Right now, we're actually seeing close to zero to negative funding rates. So today will be a 0% yield, and there's an insurance fund to buffer that out. And yeah, so that's how the funding rate yield accrues to USDH stakers. And it is a market rate that's not set by us. We're not guaranteeing 25%, just to make that clear. What we're guaranteeing is that we're passing on whatever we're getting and giving that to the stakers every day.
Gotcha.
And, what is a funding rate? Just so if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah, great question. So how futures markets are essentially a contract between two people that says, I give you exposure to the price of Bitcoin, right? If you want to go long Bitcoin, you can buy it on the spot market, but you have to exchange dollars for that. If you want to get leverage, you can put margin up, and then you can buy contracts, these futures contracts from me, let's say in this case, and it gives you exposure to more Bitcoin. So if the price goes up more, you get more Bitcoin. If the price goes down, you lose Bitcoin. In order for the price of the futures contract to stay pegged to the spot market, there's a mechanism where if there's a lot of demand in the system for longs, those longs have to pay for the privilege to be long to the people that are short, and that incentivizes the price to converge with the spot price, if that makes sense. Right? So as soon as the spot price and the futures price diverge, the people that are here have to pay it, and it goes back down. And that's the funding rate. That's expressed as a funding rate that gets settled every 8 hours between longs and shorts on most exchanges. So on some exchanges, every hour. And so since we as a protocol are short the futures market, we're essentially providing that privilege to people that want to be long, and they're willing to pay for that. On average, it's 12% annualized. And in bull market, it can go significantly higher. We've seen 26% in the 2021 bull market.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is why you guys put up to 25%, and it makes a lot of sense. So let me get this right for the people that are watching us. So if I was to take a leverage position, the longer that I take it, I notice that the funding fee goes higher. That's what you're talking about, right? For the funding rate.
The more people that want to buy the longs, the more demand there's for longs. There's an imbalance between long and short liquidity, and so if there's more longs in the system, the price of the futures contract goes above the spot price. So there's
and the longs have to pay that to make up for it, right?
The higher the premium, the higher the funding rate. Because if you have to pay 50% to be long, then less people are interested in that, right? It's like a market rate to express the demand for long leverage.
Gotcha. Awesome. So that's how the APR is derived, guys. So you guys just heard Jacob explain it there very well, by the way. So that is how you get that 20 up to 25% in APY. Okay, so let's talk about what that APY actually consists of. So what am I actually earning here? Am I earning Bitcoin? Am I earning a governance token by Hermetica, or am I earning the USDH? Could you explain that?
Yes. Yeah, so you're earning dollars. This is you're earning USDH. You're holding dollars and you're earning dollars, which is really behind it is Bitcoin, but it's Bitcoin without price exposure. So one USDH represents $1 worth of Satoshis. That's how you can think of it. But when you stake, you get more USDH over time.
Gotcha. Awesome. Perfect.
And how often is that paid out? Like, how often am I able to, do I claim it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's paid out. It's logged once a day, and that manifests itself as the ratio be going up. So if you hold SUSDH every day, you accrue that value, and once you claim, if you want to unstake and claim back your USDH, you get more USDH back. So if you stake, let's say 1,000 USDH, and over the year the yield is 12%. If after 1 year you come back and you unstake it, you would get 1,120 USDH back.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, man. So you guys picked Runes right as your main protocol to do this. Is there a reason why you guys picked Runes and not maybe BRC20s or another standard protocol?
Yeah, we're generally really like the Rune's implementation. And we think it's very well designed. It's very elegant. It's lightweight on the nodes, and so we think it's a standard that can scale and has legs for the futures. We're not opposed to BRC20 or any other standard. In fact, we're considering also those other standards, as we can represent the token on BRC20, on other L2s, but Runes is the first one that we've launched. Yeah.
Would the BRC20 transfer inscription, would that be a problem for you guys?
No, at the end of the day, we're representing a token, right? We're just issuing a token, and that token, how it's traded or how it's transferred, is really just how the protocol works. We're not doing that ourselves, obviously.
But in the back end, it's kind of automated, right? So, like, how would you automate a transfer inscription? Would that be something you guys have to program in, or is that just something you would do like a double transaction for and make the user?
Yeah, we could program that in. Obviously, it's a little bit more complex or clunky to use, if you want to use that word, than Runes. That's why.
Gotcha.
That's one reason why we go with Runes.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm having a debate with somebody with BRC20 and Rune, so I was just kind of trying to get some more information. But yeah.
He's like, I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I love Runes.
He's not taking sides.
I love Runes way better than BRC20s. I think Runes will be the #1 protocol on Bitcoin. So I'm glad you're definitely. I think you chose the best standard, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'm in this boat that people are trying to put Bitcoin in a Ethereum template, and it just doesn't. It's not the same, not even close in the way they work, right? And so it doesn't have to look like Ethereum, right? We don't need one only token standard. And there's, like you mentioned, there's going to be layers on top of Bitcoin. Our ecosystem is going to look different from theirs. And that's just how it is. And I think that that's okay. Will there be a winner in market share? Absolutely. But, I think we're like a year, even from today, looking back, we're going to look back and say, wow, this looks much different than I expected, or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, being a Rune now, you're able to kind of go to many different chains, right? Like right now, you guys could easily get over to a chain like Merlin chain. Have you looked into any side chains of Bitcoin, maybe Stacks or Merlin or even Fractal at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We are certainly interested in side chains and L2s as they come online. We think that the user experience on L1 is suitable for a very specific user and a very specific experience, right? It's very high security, it's very low throughput, it's very expensive, but there's a time and place for that, and we have I think a great small community, but a strong community right now that is doing that, and hopefully will grow. There is obviously a need for a lower latency, cheaper transaction environment that also can represent smart contracts, in order to represent the full spectrum of financial products and services that we see on Ethereum. I agree, it doesn't have to be exactly like Ethereum, but I think we also can learn a lot from those ecosystems, because they have done a lot of experimentation, right, that we don't have to necessarily do all over again. And so there's a plethora of L2s, side chains, whatever we want to label them, coming online. Some of them are already in production, already on mainnet. Some of them are coming in the coming months. We are interested in a lot of them. We are actually going to be launching on Stacks very soon, within a month. And that's going to be the first sidechain that we are deploying to. And it's going to be the same product as USDH, SUSDH, with staking. And that's the first foray into that in more, smart contract environment, low latency environment. But there's others that we're keen on.
Amazing. Yeah. Will you be using Alex for that, or would you be using a different service?
Yeah, Alex is one of the DEXs, and you'll be able to trade through them USDH. And there's a number of others. There's a pretty thriving ecosystem on Stacks, DEXs, money markets. I think those are the two main applications that we're interested in.
Yeah, and they just announced a bridge for Runes as well to Stacks, so that's probably a part of the process there for you guys. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, so what is your ultimate goal for Hermetica, right? You said you're going to start with the stable coin. We've seen companies that have started and blossomed, became huge giants like Tether, obviously. Is that what you guys are thinking? I know this is very early stages, but or are you thinking something different?
Yeah, we want to be the stablecoin for the Bitcoin ecosystem, and scale that to the point that we need to in order to service the economy. And I think that can be in the tens of billions of dollars. Obviously, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, right? We're like tiny infants right now, and need to really grow up. But we want to be there to provide a reliable, very highly liquid, stable coin solution that can be used throughout the whole ecosystem, be it on L1 through Runes or on side chains and L2s.
Yeah, man. So this past weekend we had this, we had a $10,000 red candle, right? Did that affect you guys? I know obviously you guys weren't paying out yield because you couldn't, because how your system works. But does that affect Hermetica at all? Did you guys have any issues over this past weekend?
No issues. The hedge worked exactly how you would expect. We now have more Bitcoin in the protocol, in that the dollar value is the same, but if the Bitcoin price is lower, there's more Bitcoin in the protocol. As you mentioned, the yield is not getting paid out because there's no yield being generated, because the funding rates actually went slightly negative. So there's a negative funding rate environment, which then leads us to our insurance fund. We have an insurance fund set up. We're going to talk about this a lot more once our point system goes live and our dashboards for it. But essentially, if there's a negative funding rate environment, we just take some of the insurance fund and put it into the protocol. And in a positive rate environment, which is around 85% of the funding rates are positive, historically speaking, we build up that insurance fund with a part of the yield. So let's say we make $100, we take a small portion of that and set it aside for the bad times. That's how you can think of it. And now we're seeing bad times, but in terms of the peg, there's no change. One USDH is backed by $1 worth of Satoshis, but there's no yield right now.
Yeah,
but that's also already changing. The funding rates went back positive, actually.
Yeah.
So if I see someone kind of list it like for 91 cents for whatever reason, I can just come in and buy that and know that 9 cents is mine, right? I can come and redeem that at any point.
Yes. Yeah. So if you see it below $1, then yeah, you can buy it. I think that the way that Rune's trading works right now, it's kind of hard to, like, on Magic Eden, you have to kind of basically either write a script or like especially if the price is moving a lot, be there like all the time to update the price, which is like not really feasible. So sometimes you see people list it and then the price moves and the price is now whatever, $1.10 or $1.05 or 95 cents. Yes, the protocol is backed by $1 worth of Satoshis. So the USDH is worth $1 worth of Satoshis and is redeemable for $1 worth of Satoshis.
I love it. I love that. I love the $1 of the Satoshis. That just makes me so happy.
That's exactly what it is.
Doesn't it make you feel more secure about the peg?
It does.
When he says $1 of Satoshis, it's like, okay, like, all right, I feel great about this stable token because it's always backed by $1 worth of Satoshis. So that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You got any more questions, Jaco?
I mean, I feel
think
like
I got all mine answered.
Yeah, I feel like I understand, the way that the token works now and everything. I guess, will there be like a governance token, kind of like how Maker token works for MakerDAO? Are you guys looking to do anything like that, or is that still up in the air?
Yeah, we certainly have a governance token on the roadmap and want to decentralize the decision making of the protocol. That's coming. That's in the works. It's not coming, in the next month, but it's on the roadmap and will come when it's ready.
I heard you say the word points earlier. I'm not sure if you want to dig into that, but I'll be able to earn points just by maybe staking my my USDH on top of earning the yield.
Yes, exactly. That's what's going to go live next week. We'll have a very comprehensive point system that will reward you for holding USDH, staking USDH, and using USDH throughout the ecosystem. So if you want to, get a loan on Liquidium, which I just did, I just borrowed $13,000 worth of Bitcoin on $15,000 USDH. If you do that, you also get incentivized for that. If you provide liquidity on our dot swap pool, you get incentivized for that. And then whatever other applications we'll be integrating with we're in conversations with a number of them, you'll be earning points for interacting with their application and USDH.
So you technically longed Bitcoin on layer 1 Bitcoin.
Pretty much.
That is pretty amazing. We could do that now, having a stable coin.
This
That
is
opens
how
up
our
so
grandfathers
much,
did it back in their day. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but honestly, you longed Bitcoin on layer 1. Like, you couldn't do that before. Like, it's pretty wild.
You can actually also short it, which is kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all manual. I've been in a system actually with smart contracts where people were doing this, and I was like, why are we doing it this way? But it's actually cool because you actually understand the fundamentals of like, okay, you know, I'm using stable tokens to do this long or short or whatever, but you're just doing everything manually, and that's awesome that we can do that on Bitcoin layer 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, you could write scripts to do it too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no smart contracts.
Oh yeah, somebody could come along and write a script for that in the future to long and short on layer 1 Bitcoin. So it'll be like very automatic with a manual background. That's a great idea for someone trying to build a business. Take what you guys built and Liquidium built and put it together.
You just gotta sign and have the signers, right? That's the only thing.
When USDH get listed on Liquidium, and that's going to be happening fairly soon, you could loop the yield, right? You could put SUSDH in, borrow USDH, stake that, put more SUSDH in, borrow USDH, stake
That's
it.
wild.
Now we're getting DJed, baby.
Well, now we got to talk about like when the payback dates are, though, because you got to make sure that, like, you know, obviously, like you can.
Liquidium.
Yeah, I
Liquidium,
mean, you know, because you do got to pay back the stable token if you're going to constantly do that with the. But hey, if there's a way to do it, you can keep earning more yield with the, you know, the staked USDH. So
yeah, you could use it. And yeah, right now it's pretty manual on Liquidium, but they're working on the pools, which will make the process a lot more better, I think, because you can pool a lot of different assets and then you can choose which one you want to borrow. Probably also the rates will come down. There is no duration anymore, so we're getting closer to actually something that you can actually do this without crazy amounts of work.
Yeah, that's something that Fluid already has. Have you talked to the guys at Fluid at all yet? I mean, that's something that they already have in place.
Yeah. So they're a borrowing and lending platform on Bitcoin layer 1 as well. So yeah, you might want to check them out. My last question for you, is, do you have any last kind of alpha or anything for the audience to maybe get extra excited about?
Yeah, I mean, you know, go to Magic Eden, buy some USDH or dot swap and buy some USDH and stake it, and really see that there's a user experience that I think is quite seamless, and it's all happening within Bitcoin L1, right? You're just signing Bitcoin L1 transactions. There's no smart contracts, and there's no other technology involved than Bitcoin. Obviously, there's the Ordinals protocol on top of it. And then I would say, watch our Twitter. We're going to be releasing a point system very soon, and then you'll get the chance to not just earn the yield from USDH, which can be very significant, especially when we have the market rebound and go back up, but then also earn our points and then become part of the community and get a right to shape the future of the protocol, which we're very excited about. There's a lot to be built, right? There's a lot of technologies that are coming online, a lot of projects that are coming online, and we want to be the substrate, the liquidity within those protocols and scale as the economy scales. So, you know, hit us up on X, comment on Discord, ask questions. We're super open to any feedback and anything you want to see or is not working. Just let us know. We're building up out in the open, and pretty excited for all of you to get involved.
I love it, man. And where's the best place to come find you guys?
I think on X, Hermetica FI. Just check us out there. I'm Jacob_BTC if you want to follow me on X. And yeah, you'll find all the links on Hermetica.fi as well. You can sign up for our email. We send a weekly email as well with some market insights and also all the updates around the protocol.
Yep. And if you guys want to put your email in, it's right here, right at the bottom here. Just put your email in there and hit subscribe, and then you're good to go. And check out the access to Av, and you guys can get the full experience right here. I love me and Yagobi both love your UI. Your user interfaces are absolutely amazing. By the way, I like how it's very sleek. It reminds me of that Uniswap type of feel for it. I definitely enjoyed the UI for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, 100%. Well, Jacob, we appreciate you spending time with us and the Bitcoin ecosystem community. And we would definitely love to have you back on as your project has more and more updates, and we can coordinate that in the future.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
All
buddy.
right.
See you soon.
Take it easy.
Absolutely amazing. Appreciate him coming on, man. Like I said, we haven't had a guest on in a little while, man. It felt good to get that back out there, get excited about projects again. I feel like, obviously we're in this ordinals bear market, this runes bear market right now, and it feels good to actually like start talking to projects again, man, and get bullish on tokens with utility. I'm sure they're gonna do something with this Hermetica token in the future, and it's on their roadmap, and I'm sure there's stuff can come with that. So, and right now with runes, all we have is just not stable coins, meme coins, right? So it's nice to have potential stable coin now and potential Rune, which is a utility token.
Yeah. And watch, you're going to see people utilize USDH for longing and shorting manually on Liquidium, right? And whatever other platform they decide to be on. And so these are DeFi things that are not maybe as sophisticated, right, as these Ethereum and other smart contracts, but it can be, and it will be eventually, in my opinion, with the layers on top. But we got to start somewhere, and this is a great start. Once you get established stable coins, that's a huge part of it, right? Because it just
100%.
adds flexibility to your layer one assets. And so I'm excited to see what happens here in the next 6 months with Hermetica. I imagine those points you probably can cash in for some of the governance token, but I don't know. Nothing was said, but those points are for something, right? So I'm excited to dabble and earn some points. So the future's bright for a Bitcoin ecosystem.
Very bright. Guys, check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles over there. And if you're looking for Ordinals merch, we have some of the best there. Just hit that little tab up there that says store, and that'll take you right to our amazing merchandise, school bags, hats, jackets, shirts. We have everything on the ordinalsrevolution.com. You want to hit on the partners real quick?
Yeah, if you have time, guys, please check out our partners, BitPerp. They are a perpetual DEX that's going to be launching on Botonics here in September, I believe. Ordinal Hive, the Blur of Bitcoin. They are launched on Merlin Chain. They're also on native Bitcoin. We have Fluid DEX. We just spoke a little bit about them. They are a borrowing and lending protocol, but also a DEX for runes tokens, right? So they are kind of fixing this liquidity issue on Bitcoin's native layer. You have Verothium DEX as well, the Bitcoin Layer 1 asset swap on Merlin, and then Traverse Labs, the #1 security solution for Bitcoin Layer 1 assets.
100%. Thank you, sir. And guys, check us out. We're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and then we are 4 p.m. UTC. We are live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all week, guys. Come check us out. We can't wait to go live tomorrow, and we'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.